Then we go to the Battle of Badr. The first battle that the entire Muslim army engaged pagans and the kuffar of Quraysh, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the Muslims a monumental victory. Why is it a monumental victory? Had the Muslims been defeated in Badr, probably, and hasha Allah would have been the end of Islam. Theoretically, there's no end to Islam because it's the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet when you look at the circumstances, Quraysh, with all their might and power, well-fed, strong, rich and able, each knight have his gear, his armor on horses. They're about 1,000, and the entire body of all the Muslims are about 300. And 300 who were recently starved, boycotted, persecuted by the pagans of Quraysh when they were there before they immigrated to Medina. They don't have as much armor, and you cannot even compare the amount of horses that the Muslims have versus the kuffar of Quraysh. Abu Jahl said that we have to go and we have to fight him and we have to end Islam and Muslims once and for all. So, subhanAllah, one of the miracles, this is not the subject of the book, but one of the miracles of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his prophecies, one day before the battle happened, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ takes the companions to the same area where the battle is to happen the following day. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ walks with them, and he's telling them points on the ground. Here is where so and so would be killed, and here would be so and so would be killed. And he pointed to many places where the famous fighters and leaders of Quraysh would actually be killed in the battle of Badr. Companions, this is Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they believed what he was saying, but it was kind of a new experience to them. SubhanAllah, the battle happened, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the victory that he always gives to the believers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's a recipe and there's a way, and you can apply this to your own personal life, your own business life, to whatever that you want to achieve for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will gain victory every and each time. What is it? You are sincere for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing humanly possible that you could possibly do that you did not do. And at the end of your rope, when subhanAllah everyone in the world is telling you defeat is coming, there's no way it happens, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn the world upside down and you'll get your victory. And it's not an easy victory, miraculous victory. Example, Musa alayhi salam went to the Pharaoh, spoke to him several times. The Pharaoh got plagued, and still Musa alayhi salam went to him. Let me have my deen, let me have the ability to provide, my advice and my deen to my people. And subhanAllah, the Pharaoh is a tyrant. He is, calling himself God, not even associated a partner with God. I did not know any God for you but myself. The Pharaoh chased him. The biggest tyrannical ruler out there with the biggest army at the time. A persecuted small minority, the Muslims of their time. Some people say the Jews, no, they were the Muslims of their time. And the Prophet of Islam is leading them till they came to the sea. They're either going to be drowned or they're going to be totally annihilated. What did they say? There's nothing else that Musa alayhi salam can do. They said to him, Inna la mudrakun. That's it. He's about to reach us, we're going to be destroyed. What did Musa alayhi salam say? This is the true belief. When you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are taking steps towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's the nature of physics. When you get closer to anything, you are being with that thing. Imagine when you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. What did he say? Inna ma'ya rabbi sayahdeen. My God is with me. He will guide me. No doubt whatsoever. And what happens? They don't only defeat the Pharaoh, or they're just saved from the tyrannical forces of the Pharaoh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala part the Red Sea into two gigantic mountains of water, saved Musa alayhi salam and his people, and drowned the Pharaoh and his army. So the Muslims did everything that they could possibly do. Obeyed Prophet Muhammad as much as they could do. They went all knowing that most likely they will be killed, they will be annihilated, there's no way back for them. And there's nothing else they could do. What would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that point, أَنزَلَ لَهُمْ جُنُودًا مِنْ عِنْدِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent angels to fight among the Muslims. Companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they said, we've seen people heads being chopped off of the kuffar without anyone being there. And guess what? The battle ended. And after everything is said and done, and the Muslims are so amazed that they 300 weak and persecuted defeat the entire army of Quraysh of 1,000, and they killed as many as they killed of them. SubhanAllah, the next biggest shock is when they walked around, what did they happen? Same exact spots. Had the same exact people that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told them the day before, they would be killed here. SubhanAllah. One of the miracles of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Then, look at the enemies of Islam, what they call that. They said, well, the Muslims claim that Allah was fighting with them. Or Allah was fighting for the Muslims. SubhanAllah. It does not, SubhanAllah, become something against Islam as it is something that shows the mentality and the belief of these people. You're supposed to be Christian. What kind of Christian is that? What kind of Jew is that? That believes that God is like a human being that can have obstacles, that can have people fight him, and he has to struggle and fight to achieve something that he wants to do. Exactly, حاشا لله, as if he was a human being. Subhanallah. إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. Anything, destroying the entire universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says be, and it is. Who is that would be an obstacle to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? فلا أقسم برب المشارق والمغارب إنا لقادرون على أن نبدل خيرا منهم وما نحن بمسبوقين. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to change everyone on the face of the planet, He would destroy everyone, He would kill everyone, replace him by just the word, be, and it's done. And then you get someone saying that Allah was fighting, the Muslims claim that Allah is fighting with the Muslims. And then another one would come and say, you know what, look at what the Muslims saying in the Quran and the Hadith, that there were angels fighting with them. So that religion of Islam, they must be superstitious. And they believe in crazy things, and they believe in supernatural forces. You know, it's like our voodoo or a religion of magic and so on and so forth. And subhanAllah, in refuting that in the book, I said, all right, you claim that you're Christians and Jews. Can you tell me what kind of forces that split and parted the Red Sea? Is that a supernatural force, or this is something you buy from the supermarket? When Dawood alayhi salam defeated Jalut, subhanAllah, a little person with few people and the giant, was that supernatural? Subhanallah. When Isa alayhi salam was proven to people that he's a prophet of God, and he revived the dead with the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and cured the blind and the sick, was he a magician? Some of the Jews claim that, but was he a magician? Oh, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, creator of heavens and earth, aiding his prophets and giving his prophets miracles, so he would tell you, look, I changed the law of nature with that specific person, so you know that he speaks for me and he is from me to guide you. If it wasn't these miracles and supernatural events of the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how would we know if this person is a prophet or this person is a con man? And all the prophets of God, subhanallah, most of them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave, the miracles have the same feature. But when it comes to the Muslims, in a battle where it is a miracle, 300 people persecuted to defeat 1,000, that is a miracle in itself. You have to say that there's aid from above that came to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it in the Quran. Still, they will come to you and tell you, oh, these people are superstitious, and so on and so forth.